welcome back to my channel. My name is LeBouef. If you're new here, you should definitely subscribe down below to my YouTube channel. I will also have my social media links down below for all of you social media savvy people. This is going to be one of my first videos of the year of 2018. I can't believe that we are already in 2018, but 2017 was so crazy and a lot of life changes, especially for my boyfriend Josh and I, and that kind of leads me into the topic of today's video. During this year of 2018, I think I do want to start a relationship advice series, since I not only get questions about my long-term relationship, but I also get questions like long distance, and Josh and I did long distance for a year, and I could do a little bit of that. I could do, you know, more in-depth videos. So I would love to do a series. I'm pretty sure I'm going to try and do that this year. So if you're interested in that, leave comments down below. Instagram DMs are so great. I will see those right away if you want to do that. I'll have my Instagram right here. So if you're curious to see more videos like that, definitely stay tuned on my channel for those. But let's get into this one first. I am not in any way an expert on relationships. A little bit about me, Josh and I, that's my boyfriend. Obviously, I'll probably be talking about him and saying his name a lot in this video. Josh and I have been in a relationship for almost 6.5 years now. We also did date when I was much younger, 8th grade, for a year. So if you do also count that year that we were really young, it's actually 7.5 years in total, which is so crazy to me because it doesn't feel like it's been that long. So this is going to be a long-term relationship advice video. I hope you guys enjoy, and I hope you guys learn something from this video. They're really just things that I have noticed along the way of my 6.5 year relationship that have really helped Josh and I grow as individuals, but also grow together in a relationship. And starting off with the first tip or advice I would say is very important in a relationship is communication is key. I'm sure you guys hear this literally everywhere. This is so true when it comes to an argument or maybe a disagreement, as well as anything from that to just how you're feeling in your day-to-day relationship. So I guess starting with the kind of not so fun, communication is very important in this aspect because you can either get your point in the argument across in a kind of interruptive, rude way that is only going to make your argument worse, or you can kind of listen to their side. I think it is time to kind of realize that your view isn't the only view that matters. So when it does come to communicating in that little argument, whatever it might be, whether it's big or small, to really, truly, and genuinely see the other person's side. This might be so hard, especially since we might be really hard-headed at the time. Instead of being very heated in the moment, maybe you need to kind of step away and take a little bit of time to collect your thoughts and think about what you want to say in this argument, or maybe you can do it right then. So it of course depends on the person. So you have to get in that mindset first. That's the only way you're going to be able to get a solution, is by taking that in a very calm way and communicating that to them, because of course it's easy for us to maybe kind of like raise our voice or just get annoyed, or even just kind of shut down and not want to talk about anything. Those are all just not good things to do, and you want to stay away from those. So that's where communication really comes into play in the argumentative side. The other reason why I think communication is so important is talking about how you're feeling. This could be anything little from something that your boyfriend maybe said that really kind of either hurt your feelings or made you feel just like a little bit uneasy in the relationship, and you're just like, why did they say that? Or it could be an action. It's really just easy to just really push those feelings down or those thoughts down and just say, oh well, it was so little, it's okay, we're gonna move on, I'm not gonna bring it up. I used to do that out of fear, maybe fear of what he's gonna say. You don't want to think about that huge extreme. It's so important to get those feelings out and those thoughts out. When you are overthinking all these things, that could really end not well, and really have them feel like you don't talk about your feelings with them, when really it was just you suppressing all these feelings, and now every little thing that they do makes you upset because you think back to that one little tiny thing that didn't really need to be a thing. it will be so much better in the long run. So I think it gets you more on an even communication level, and you can really fully get your points across and communicate them openly. It just really helps the conversation flow. Moving on to my second tip, and that is the foundation of your relationship. This can be so many things for so many different people, whether they're views, morals, beliefs, and religion. But the foundation of your relationship basically should be a lot of things that you agree on. Really trying to see eye to eye on them. A big one for Josh and I that has helped us so much and is really the reason why we're still together today is our foundation on Jesus Christ. And of course, you don't have to be quote unquote religious or anything to be in a relationship, but for us it is so important that our foundation is based off of something that is immovable and unshakable, like the word of Jesus, and praying together and really seeing eye to eye, because that is the way we're going to come together but also grow and flourish in our relationship. There's been so many times where I've seen relationships not have anything to fall back on in really hard times, and Josh and I have had that. You know, if we're in a disagreement or if something really tragic might have happened in a relationship, we know that we have something to fall back on that is so solid and will continue to bring our relationship up, as well as us individuals. Individually, that has really helped us as well, and then come together as a relationship. So that is just one thing, and just seeing eye to eye on your morals. This is so important. If you feel that something is wrong and your partner ends up doing it and you never once talked about it, they're gonna say, well, you never told me that doing X, Y, and Z was wrong in your eyes, so why am I just now finding out about this? So it's really good to base and get those foundations and topics out in the beginning of your relationship, because there's going to be things that come up. Just really talking with Josh about our morals and seeing that we do see eye to eye on so many big things in our lives has really helped us, because now we know we're not going to have an argument about, is it okay to do this or not. So it's that moral standpoint, and once again, really strong faith within our relationship. Though foundation and what your relationship is based on is so key when it comes to agreeing on your foundation and your morals. So yeah. The third tip or advice I would give you guys is learning how your boyfriend or girlfriend feels the most loved. And maybe you guys have heard of this book already, but it is one of my favorite books when it comes to relationships. It's the 5 Love Languages book, and this book is written by Gary Chapman. It is so great, and you don't have to read this book in order to find how your partner is most loved and you are most loved. You can actually go on their website and take the quiz if you just Google that quiz. Knowing how Josh feels the most loved has helped us in our relationship so much, as well as him knowing how I am loved. So for example, a lot of us tend to try and love people the way that we feel loved. So for example, if mine is words of affirmation, and I continually just affirm Josh through words, and that's all I do because, oh, I feel loved that way, so he must feel loved that way. But that's not how love works. We're all made differently, especially women and men. Of course, the way that they receive that love might be totally different, and they're gonna be like, why am I feeling a lack of kind of love in this relationship? And the reason for that might be because you're loving them in a different way that they're not really receiving it. So I really suggest that book. It has helped Josh now a lot, and just knowing how I can love him a lot more has really helped our relationship grow, as well as him knowing how I feel the most loved. And the last tip, which I think is one of the most important when it comes to a long-term relationship, is being selfless. It's really our instinct to always really want what we want, be selfish in a relationship. Sometimes it's literally human nature. So I think working on that has definitely helped Josh and I's relationship. For example, I mean, right now Josh is in the fire academy and he doesn't have a ton of time to see me, let alone even see friends or family. He literally wakes up at 4 a.m., goes to the academy, comes home, has to study a ton and get something, you know, get his food ready for the next day, go to sleep. So I do get to see him on the weekends, but the main part of that is I've heard so many girlfriends, you know, their relationships have kind of failed because of this, because they will kind of say, well, you're not spending enough time with me and I can't do this anymore. And in general, you have to see their side and be selfless and say, hey, this is gonna be hard for these amount of months and I'm just gonna deal with it and be selfless, because by doing that, you're realizing and recognizing that they are going to do the same thing for you in a time like this. I know that Josh would do something like this for me. If I was in a position where I didn't have enough time to, you know, text him 24/7 and I didn't have time to see him on the weekdays or whatever it is okay. Also being selfless when it comes to your plans canceling. Maybe they're tired from their long day at school or work and maybe they say, hey babe, I'm really sorry but I have to study, or maybe I'm really sorry about canceling date night, can we reschedule, because whatever the case may be. And tell them, oh, it's okay, we can reschedule, it's not a big deal, or just really being so understanding. And in the moment it might feel unrewarding, it might feel like, wow, this really sucks right now. And instead of me feeling that way, the reward is going to be so much greater when they're appreciative. Recently Josh has been on the phone with me, you know, after the academy. He'll just say how much he really appreciates me and appreciates the fact that I'm not constantly saying, hey, let's go hang out, I don't care that you're tired, I don't care you have to study, let's go do this, this, and this. I'm not doing that, and he has really appreciated that. Just to know that it is going to be okay and that they would do the same thing for you, I think is very huge. And also a side note, if you don't think they would do that for you, or you've seen them not do that for you, I would really consider kind of sitting down and talking about that. So yeah, being selfless in really any situation, whether that is really serving them in an act, or whether that is being okay without hanging out on a Friday night even though you did have plans. So yeah, those were the 4 tips that I had for you guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to give it a thumbs up and be on the lookout for relationship advice videos. I really do want to start a little series here. So with that said, leave me your questions on my Instagram. I hope this helps you guys out in your relationships, whether you've been dating for a year or 6 years, but I do hope this helped, and I'll talk to you guys in my next video. Bye!